Hello everyone and welcome back to our geography class for a new session that is 2021, and I'll be taking your geography, all the sections. Okay, now in today's class I'm not going to start any chapter. I'm just going to discuss the question pattern and the syllabus that ought to be covered. Okay, in your geography syllabus for class 9 2021. Now if you also take into account here, the pattern that is followed here in class 9 is exactly same like the pattern that we follow for your IUCAC. For your geography question paper, you will have your question paper that is carrying your 80 marks. And the entire question paper is divided into your two parts. Okay, you have your part 1, okay, where you'll be having two questions. Question number 1, that is your short type question. Short type question, okay, carrying 20 marks. And remember children, okay, the short type question, question number 1 is a compulsory question, and all the chapters ought to be taken into account. And your short type question, okay, each question carrying 2 marks, okay, will be asked in your examination. So it is a compulsory part. So part 1 generally is a compulsory question that you ought to attempt under your class 9 syllabus for your geography. So question number 1 is a short type question carrying your 20 marks. Then you have another question under your part 1 only. Question number 2, that is your world map. So in class 9, you will not deal with your India's map. Okay, India's map is for your ICC syllabus. So you just want to concentrate on your world map, where you will be taking into account your different kind of your physical features, your different kinds of your water bodies that you have there in the world. The important ones, they all are taken into account under your class 9 syllabus for your map work. So question number 1 and question number 2 are your compulsory part. It falls under the category of your part 1. So world map will be carrying 10 marks. So part 1 is for 30 marks. Now part 2, you'll be having ample choice that has basically been provided there in your examination. Is that clear? And so you can see from each chapter your set of questions they are going to ask in your examination, and each set of questions you ought to attempt. That means you'll be given an option, you'll be given a choice there in your second part, and out of all the options that are basically been provided to you all, okay, you are supposed to attempt any 5 questions. Okay, and all the questions, set of questions will be carrying your 10 marks. So 10 marks into 5, that becomes your 50 marks. So 50 plus your 30 together. So 50 plus your 30 together, part 1 and part 2 is your 80 marks. So 80 marks theory question is going to be asked in your examination under your class 9's geography syllabus. So remaining 20 marks that you have, okay, 20 marks is for your project work. So project work is an internal assessment that will basically be given to you all, the topics will be given to you all, okay. You have to prepare the project, and accordingly your marks will be provided. So 80 plus your 20 is your 100 marks question for your geography. Now if you want to take into account in your class 9 syllabus for your geography, you ought to take into account your different topics, okay, the principles of geography that you ought to follow. So in just I'll be telling you the topics that we'll be covering here in class 9 syllabus for your geography. So we have topics under your first unit, that is our world, where we will be talking about your Earth being an example of a very unique planet. Now there are so many planets that we have there in the solar system. Now Earth is that special planet where we are residing. Okay, now it's considered to be a very unique planet. So the features as to why your Earth is referred to as a unique planet, why life is sustaining here in your Earth, about all that in a detailed manner, we will be highlighting here under the first unit, that is our planet, that is Earth as a planet. Apart from that, we will also take into account your different kinds of your grids that you have in the world. Okay, now you can see your entire world is basically been divided into different kinds of your grids by your imaginary lines. So you have your parallel lines, you have your vertical lines as well as your horizontal lines. Okay, they are termed as your lines of latitude, they are termed as your lines of longitude, and both these lines of latitude and lines of longitude, they play a very important role. Okay, one, in order to determine the distance your particular place is basically maintaining from the equator. Okay, another one, your lines of longitude that play a very, very important role in order to calculate your time of that particular location. So time and distance of that particular region is basically highlighted by your two primary imaginary lines that is present all over the world, and they are making your geography grids. So we will be talking about the features of your lines of latitude, we'll be talking about the features of your lines of longitude, we will be taking into account their uses at the present day context. And the last one, the last chapter that we will be highlighting here under your first unit would be your two primary movement that your Earth, being an example of a unique planet, is undergoing, which is basically bringing about your differences there in your day and your night, okay, differences there in your seasonal changes that is taking place. So many things are happening here in the Earth. It is basically because of your two primary movement that your Earth is undergoing. So in a detailed manner, we'll be talking about the rotation and your revolution. So they are your three chapters that we will be emphasizing in detail under the first unit here in your chapter. Now the second unit basically talks about the structure of the Earth, okay, and the first chapter, the name itself is your Earth structure, where we will be highlighting the different layers that you have there in the Earth, okay. So in just we will be talking about the outermost layer, okay, you'll be talking about the crust, your lithosphere, then we'll be talking about the mantle, then we'll be talking about the core, and we'll be highlighting your significant features there. Apart from that, the second chapter under your second unit would be your landforms on the Earth. Now see, Earth, you can see your different types of your landforms are basically present. Different kinds of your physical features are basically present. So what are your causes that are responsible for creating those landforms? So generally the landforms that we'll be highlighting here in details are your mountains, okay, your different kinds of your mountains. What are the factors that are responsible for creating that particular kind of a mountain? Different kinds of your plateaus, different types of your plains, mountains, plains, plateaus, they are your different kinds of your landforms. They are your different kinds of your physical features that you have there in the Earth. So about that in a detailed manner we will be highlighting here in this chapter. Then apart from that, we'll be talking about the different kinds of rocks that is present here in the Earth. So we will be emphasizing on the characteristics of your three major kinds of your rock, that is your igneous rock, your sedimentary rock, and your metamorphic rock. We will also talk about, under the same unit structure of the Earth, we will talk about these two natural disasters. One is your volcanoes, another one is your earthquake. Exactly, and we'll be talking about the entire causes, what are its effects, especially we'll be emphasizing on the destructive effects and which part of the world is considered to be a region which is very, very vulnerable to your volcanic eruption, which is very, very vulnerable to your earthquake attack. About that in detailed manner we'll be highlighting there. So we will also take into account your process of weathering, we will also take into account your process of denudation. They are also your primary activities, okay, that is undertaking here in your Earth, and your different agents play a very important role, which is also responsible for creating your different kinds of your landforms that is present here in the Earth. So they are altogether your 7 chapters, okay, we will be highlighting in detail under your second unit. Now unit number 3, we will be talking about your hydrosphere. Okay, the hydrosphere basically engulfs all your water bodies that is present here in your Earth. So in a detailed manner, we'll be talking about your different kinds of your water bodies, and especially in this chapter, we will be emphasizing on your waves and we will be emphasizing on the ocean current. Now unit number 4, okay, after your hydrosphere, we'll be moving on to your atmosphere. So in the first chapter, we'll be talking about the composition. Atmosphere is very, very important. And remember children, the presence of atmosphere is also one primary factor that is allowing life to sustain here in your Earth. Because atmosphere is having your composition, your presence of your oxygen you take into account, presence of your ozone layer you take into account. Okay, so in a detailed manner, how much percentage of which gases are present there in the atmosphere. Okay, how they are playing a pivotal role in order to sustain your life form there in the Earth. About that in a detailed manner also we will be highlighting here in the first chapter under your unit number 4, that is your atmosphere. Then we'll be talking about your insulation, okay, we will be talking about your atmospheric pressure and winds, okay, and the last one is your humidity. So from unit number 4, atmosphere, what we will be emphasizing, the different kinds of your climatic factors that are playing a primary role in order to determine the kind of your climatic condition that is prevailing here in your Earth, allowing life to sustain here in the Earth. So we'll be talking about the process of insolation, okay, the amount of heat that is reaching your Earth's surface, and sun is your major source from where your energy, your heat is basically being supplied to your Earth in order to sustain your different forms of your life. Okay, we'll be talking about that in your chapter insulation, your atmospheric pressure and your winds. That is also a very, very important chapter, determining your climatic scenario. And the last one, the amount of moisture that you have there in the atmosphere. So in a detailed manner, okay, in your atmosphere chapter, we will be covering these topics. Unit number 5 is your chapter on pollution. The pollution is a very, very important chapter here. You also have this chapter there in your syllabus for your environmental science also. Okay, in geography also you have this chapter. This is a very important chapter. This is one primary environmental problem that we are facing at a regular basis, okay, day-to-day extent. And that is the global warming that is bringing about your climate change. One primary factor is your reckless activity that is undertaken by human beings. We, that is your pollution. So we human beings are responsible for creating pollution which is harming or degrading, or we can say depleting your environment in a negative manner. So under your pollution chapter, that is unit number 5, we have 4 chapters. Okay, so in a detailed manner, we'll be talking about pollution, meaning the different kinds of pollution, okay, that is impacting your environment. Then we'll be talking about what are the sources of pollution. Okay, what are the causes of your pollution? So we'll be talking, pollution has taken place, at different times, air pollution has taken place, your soil pollution has taken place, water pollution has taken place. Now what are its impacts? Okay, what are its consequences? What are its effects? Now that is very, very important, because that effects is harming your environment in a negative manner. Now pollution is harming your environment. Now you cannot basically undergo the process in order to, okay, increase the rate at which your pollution is taking place. So solutions ought to be adopted. Okay, measures ought to be adopted. Okay, remedial measures ought to be adopted. So the last chapter under your unit number 5, we will be talking about all the preventive measures, okay, that can be adopted, all the strategies that can be adopted with the help of which you can reduce the rate at which your pollution is harming the environment. Then the last unit is your unit number 6. Okay, and in this unit, we will be talking about the natural regions of the world. So that the entire world, on the basis of your climatic factors, on the basis of your different kinds of your natural vegetation that is growing there. Primary one is your climatic factor, the human adaptation, okay, what human beings are engaging there in that region, okay, what livelihood, source of livelihood they are undertaking, okay, that in a detailed manner. We will be talking about that in a detailed manner under your natural regions of the world. So all your natural regions of the world, the characteristics, okay, the different kinds of species that are grown in the region, in a detailed manner we will be highlighting there under your last unit, that is your natural regions of the world. Okay, apart from that, we will also emphasize on your world map syllabus, okay, map work syllabus, okay, and under your map work syllabus you want to take into account your different kinds, your major mountains, okay, that is a major landform that you have in the world, major mountains that are present in the world, major plains that are present in the world, major plateaus that are present in the world, the significant rivers that are flowing there in the world, okay, and this natural region chapter under your unit 6 that you have emphasized. Okay, now from there also you want to take a world map and you want to divide that world map into your different natural region zones of the world. That also will be taken into account here in our geography syllabus. Apart from that, from your hydrosphere chapter, we'll be talking about the movement. We'll be using an arrow. Okay, we'll be talking about the movement of your ocean currents in a detailed manner. So all your water bodies, all your ocean bodies, you take into account your ocean currents, their direction. Everything is included there in your map work syllabus. So these all are your topics. Okay, so I've discussed the syllabus here in gist. Okay, so these all are your topics. Okay, these all are your chapters. Okay, under your unit. Okay, and under your unit you can see different chapters are there. So all the chapters we will be taking into account, and we will be dealing with our geography syllabus for class 9 2020-21. From my next class I'll be starting with the very first chapter. Is that clear? Thank you.